Today we're going to be doing a pretty quick and easy mod to our RZR right here. Not really something that's going to add a lot of functionality to it. It's really kind of just a cool factor. We're going to be changing out these hood latches for the button style quick release latches. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be replacing this turnstile. What we're going to be changing to is this push button style quick release. So I ordered these off Amazon, got them on Prime, 2-day shipping. You know, Amazon's got that really dangerous one-click buy now option. I think it was $15.99, $16 at the time I bought these. I'll try to throw a link down below, and maybe that'll help you find them. But they seem to be a pretty nice quality unit. You know, you get 2 of them here, and you can buy them individually, but it's cheaper to buy 2. You get 2 of them. You know, it's a nice aluminum button, nice stainless steel hardware with that snap action, very crisp. I'm sure once this gets packed full of mud a few times, that'll change. But I will say one thing about this mod is it is completely reversible. You can pretty much take this out and swap back to your factory hardware at any time if you don't like the way these look, or if they get, you know, clogged up in mud and stop working good. You'll need a Sharpie or something. I'm using the silver one because they'll ride a little bit better. And then you'll need a 1/4-inch drill bit. We'll remove these latches first, and then we'll use that hole to mark where to drill at to mount our post. So removing these latches is really easy. They're mounted in rubber, a little rubber bushing right here. You basically just mash this out and then point the tang towards the edge of the hood, and then just kind of pop it out straight forward just like that. And then you'll be left with a rubber bushing which just pops out just like that, and then you're left with just the stock hole in the hood. That's why I was saying we're not going to drill that out any larger, so if you ever want to go back to your factory hardware, you just pop this rubber bushing back in, stick your latch back in, you're good to go. Okay, so now that we got our stock hardware out of the way, we'll just slip the hood back on here. Make sure it's, you know, make sure it's where it needs to be. It's all the way up on there. And then we're going to take our Sharpie marker. You know, we're basically going to go as straight as possible down this hole and until we touch the plastic that we're going to drill through. I'm just going to shine a light down in here and try to get a good eyeball on it. Okay, so I got that one marked. Before I show it to you, I'm going to go mark the other side so that I'm not taking the hood off and on a bunch of times. Okay, got that marked, so I'll just pull this off. And I'm going to try to show you my mark. You can see it right there, that little silver dot right in the center. That's where I'm going to drill my 1/4-inch hole to mount the post. I'm just going to take it real easy, get lined up good on my mark, and just drill all the way through it. Now, I think I said it earlier, but I got the longer of these two. There's 2 variations. One's like 2-inch, one's like 4-inch. And I got the 4-inch ones because if you notice, I mean, it's probably about 1.5 to 2 inches right there. And then it's got to go through the plastic and it has to stick up. So I was kind of worried about the 2-inch ones being a little short. I'll try to measure it and see, because I think the 2-inch ones were maybe $1 cheaper. But, actually, I'm going to install this without the washer because it's kind of really close to that edge. Okay, so after a few minutes of admittedly getting very mad and throwing shit, I realized that if you take this torque screw out, it makes things a lot easier, and then you can always put the screw back in after you're done. I already did the other side and it worked way better than what I'm trying to do over here, so just using the factory torque wrench out of the toolkit. I'll just pop that screw out for the time being. And what that allows us to do is to actually pick this thing up, tighten it down where we need it to be, and then let it sit back down. This plastic and then this metal clip nut get in the way of the bottom nut tightening down onto this layer of plastic. So you lift this up, tighten up your bottom nut, and then whenever you're finished, you go back and put this back in and tighten it all down. I already did it on the other side, so I know it works, but that's what I'm about to do on this. And I found a good starting adjustment on this. You'll have to play with it, but basically the threads, if you kind of get the start of the threads at the bottom side of this plastic, or maybe you're kind of like flush with the edge of this plastic, that's kind of a good starting point. Then I'll show you how to adjust it here in just a second. So now the next thing we'll do is we'll take our, I guess this would be the latch portion of this. We'll go ahead and take this nut off the back side, and you'll notice that slips right down in that hole. It is like literally perfect size for it. That's why it looks so good in there. And just flip it over, tighten your nut down on here. Okay, I got the jumbo nut rounder out right here. Let's just try to awkwardly tighten this up on camera. Okay, so this one is adjusted pretty much right on. Lines up well. It pops nice when you release it. It might could stand to go down a blind one, if you know what I'm saying, but that's pretty spot on. You see how big of a gap there is right there? I need to run this post down a little bit. You want it to almost have a little spring whenever you mash it down on the post. But that gap's just way too big, so I'm gonna take and loosen this one, run it down a little bit more, and then we'll check it one last time. But before we do that, man, look how freaking sweet these things look. It's so nice. I mean, it literally does zero for functionality of the RZR, but man, it's the little things that just, I don't know, just rub you the right way, if you know what I'm saying. So like I said, this one's a little bit high, so to adjust it, pretty straightforward. You just loosen one of the nuts, don't matter if it's the top or the bottom, then thread the post down. Actually, I'm gonna have to loosen it just a little bit more. And thread the post down. And I'm gonna set this one a little bit lower than the other one. One thing I've noticed, when you're tightening these things, if you, like say this one, you know, really needs to be kind of close to this edge and then close to this edge. So as I'm tightening this up, I've got, you know, I'm using my hands, but I'm also using this wrench right here to kind of pull it in this direction, and then tightening my nuts up right here. And that's really kind of helping to get it lined up where I want it to. So let's test fit that again and see if that's fitting any better now. Okay, so I did wind up adjusting this one down a little bit because it's bothering me. Got everything locked down, everything's completely finished. So this will be just kind of one last look at it. Just pop, pop, pull this up, that off. Those just got the little nuts on the back side. And grab a light. By the way, Harbor Freight lights, best lights out there. So I was struggling so hard with this before I realized I needed to stop being lazy and take this screw out. I took that screw out so I could kind of lift this body up, and it made that nut on the bottom side clear perfectly. I got a tape measure here and it looks like 3/8 roughly. You're gonna have to play with it. There's no perfect measurement that's gonna work for every machine. That's about 3/8. One thing I was curious on is, like I said, there was two lengths of these, a 2-inch, which I think was like 2 1/4 from the very top to the very bottom was like 2 1/4, and then there was a 4-inch, and I got the 4-inch. 2 1/4 would have been super close to working, but it's really neither here nor there to have that extra adjustability hanging out down there. So in my opinion, I would just buy the little bit longer ones. I mean, it's maybe $1 or $2 more. Like I said, I'll try to throw a link in the description. So we'll just get one last look at it here. Try to do this one-handed. Slide it up on there. And like I said, I set mine so you got to put some decent pressure to get them to latch. Yeah, decent pressure, but what that does, it kind of gives you a little bit of a spring on the release so they kind of spring off. Yeah, that's all there is to it. You know, this is a 18 razor, so this will work all the way back to like the 14 1000s. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same hood for a turbo as a non-turbo. Pretty sure it's going to be the exact same for the 19 and up. So whatever razor you got, I think this little mod's going to work for you. And as always, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. If you want to see more videos like this, riding videos, I got some videos from my Toyota right here. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, check out some of my videos, and thanks for watching. See you on the next one.